Welcome, fellow denizens of the dark. This is Lance, your host of Strange Bites, where we sink our teeth into wonderfully weird and wild science discoveries. A huge thank you to all of you for tuning in. Your ears make these strange journeys possible. If you're enjoying the show, please hit that subscribe button, leave us a quick review, give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, or X. Every subscription, every rating, every follow helps us reach more curious minds and keeps the Strange Bites coming. Your support truly makes a difference. Now, let's dive into today's bite. Tonight, we're slipping into the shadows of a quiet university lab in Nagoya, Japan. This is episode 21, The Secret Birth of Soramatex. It's dark outside, and the fluorescent lights are buzzing overhead like nervous insects. Rain patters against the windows, and in the corner, a small team of 6 scientists are playing with fire and carbon in something that should not exist. It all started in the labs of Nagoya University, part of something called Aichi Priority Research Project 5, a fancy industry, academia, government collaboration where smart folks from Aichi Prefecture and Aichi Science and Technology Foundation team up to crack impossible problems. Their mission? To build the future of aerospace and next-gen mobility by making things ridiculously light. But what they stumbled onto in those late-night experiments wasn't just light. It was impossibly light, lighter than the air you're breathing right now. Our story opens on a night like any other in that cramped Nagoya workshop. CEO Tomoki Osato and his tiny crew, just 6 people total, are grinding away on ultralight materials for planes, rockets, and electric sky taxis. They start with plain old carbon powder. Nothing fancy, just black dust that you could scoop up from your barbecue grill. But they have a secret recipe, a proprietary twist no one outside the company will fully explain. They mix it, heat it, coax it into intricate carbon nanostructure. Think of it like an invisible spider web made of carbon atoms, trapping billions of tiny air pockets inside like a foam skeleton. The result? A squishy, porous black material they called Soramatex. You pick it up, or try to. Journalists at CES 2026 in Las Vegas described it as almost impossible to feel in your hand. It's lighter than air, density between 0.0005 and 0.01 grams per cubic centimeter. Air itself clocks in around 0.0012 grams per cubic centimeter at sea level. So this stuff? It practically wants to float away on its own, like a ghost that forgot it's supposed to obey gravity. In the right conditions, samples have been shown levitating in demos. It feels like touching warm, compressed nothing, a delicate foam that holds its shape under gentle pressure but whispers back at you when you squeeze. And here's where the story deepens. This isn't some fragile lab curiosity. The team engineered it to fight back against the real world. Traditional superlight foams and aerogels, those frozen smoke materials science have been chasing for decades, usually have a fatal flaw. They burn like paper in a bonfire. Not Soramatex. It's highly flame retardant, a breakthrough that makes it safe for the brutal heat of spacecraft reentry or jet engines. It also blocks electromagnetic interference, the invisible electronic noise that can fry satellites and cockpit instruments. It sucks up low-frequency sound like a sponge, perfect for quieting roaring plane cabins or EV motors, and it insulates heat better than anything its weight should allow, all in one squishy black package. Late one night during the Aichi project, one researcher held a fresh sample up to the light. It shimmered faintly, almost like it was breathing. They tested it against a blowtorch. Flames licked the edges and nothing. The material just sat there, defiant. They blasted it with radio waves. The signal vanished on the other side. They dropped it near a speaker, bumping bass-heavy noise. The roar turned to a muffled whisper, and when they let it go in a controlled chamber, it rose, slowly, like it belonged to the sky, not the earth. The word spread quietly at first, through JAXA, Japan's space agency, which later registered Sora Materials as an official partner startup, because this stuff could slash the weight of rockets and satellites dramatically. Then came the big reveal at CES 2026 in Las Vegas. Crowds gathered around the Venetian Expo booth. Attendees cupped their hands and gasped as their materials seemed to disappear against their palms. TV Tokyo Biz cameras rolled. Nikkei X-Tech ran headlines calling it the material that floats in air. The Verge sent reporters who admitted they couldn't even feel it. South by Southwest 2026 followed. The CEO Asado on stage, painting visions of lighter planes, flying cars, and spacecraft that don't need half their fuel just to lift off. But in the shadows of the hype, the deeper mystery lingers. The company guards the exact formula like a state secret. Carbon powder is all they'll officially say. Is there something in that nanostructure that makes the material alive in some eerie, non-biological way? Or is it just science finally catching up to what nature has hidden in carbon all along? Either way, Soramatex isn't mass producing yet. They're still hunting global partners, scaling up, proving it can survive real-world vibration, moisture, and decades of flight. One wrong move and this floating wonder could stay trapped in the lab forever, or worse, slip into the wrong hands. So what happens when humanity finally touches something lighter than the air that sustains us? That's the bite we're leaving you with tonight. This discovery isn't just about shaving grams off a plane or making your next EV fly farther on less battery. It forces us to confront the weight we carry, literally and metaphorically. For centuries, human progress has been a story of adding mass. Heavier machines, bigger cities, more stuff. Gravity has always been our anchor, grounding us in this dirt and reminding us we belong to this planet. Soramatex flips that script. It offers a material so ethereal, it challenges the very physics we take for granted, promising a future where aerospace isn't a brutal fight against weight, but a gentle drift towards the stars. Think about the implications layer by layer. Practically, it could slash fuel use in aviation and spaceflight by hundreds of kilograms per vehicle, meaning cheaper satellite launches, longer range electric aircraft, quieter cities, and even flying cars that don't guzzle energy just to get off the ground. Environmentally, less mass equals less emissions and resource strain. The company already touts advanced recycling tech, hinting at a closed-loop life cycle instead of the usual toxic waste from exotic materials. But here's the nuance. Scaling this from a 6-person Nagoya startup to global factories won't be clean or cheap. What if production demands rare carbon precursors or energy-intensive processes that create their own hidden footprint? Who gets access first? Billionaires building space hotels or developing nations needing lighter infrastructure? Philosophically, it gets darker and more beautiful. Lightness has always been a human longing, from Icarus wings to Buddhist ideas of non-attachment to the modern obsession with minimalism. Soramatex literalizes that dream, a solid you can barely feel, floating towards the void. Does it free us or unmoor us? In a world already floating through digital realities and climate anxiety, this material might accelerate our detachment from the physical Earth. Imagine spacecraft so light that interplanetary travel becomes routine. Wonderful for exploration, but what happens to our sense of home when the sky stops feeling like a boundary? What if this floating property interacts unpredictably in extreme environments, say the vacuum of space or the crushing pressure of deep-sea subs, or in everyday life? Could it revolutionize soundproofing in noisy megacities or EMI shielding for our hyper-connected brains? Yet the mystery remains. The company's secrecy, the almost living way it defies touch, it reminds us that every breakthrough carries unknown shadows. We chase lightness because our world feels too heavy. But true progress might lie not in floating away, but in using this gift to re-anchor ourselves more thoughtfully. Lighter footprints, heavier wisdom. Soramatex doesn't just change material science. It invites us to ask, in a universe that wants to pull us down, what does it mean to finally let go? The sky just got a little closer and a little more mysterious. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Give me a follow on social media. And until next time, stay strange and question everything.